Welcome back to another CEO.CA interview. Look, I don't know if you know this, but Mexico is a leading producer in silver, copper, and gold. Today, I'm introducing you to the CEO of a producer in Mexico, a Canadian producer actually, and his name is Dan Barnholden. Dan, welcome to CEO.CA.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
So I would love to get an overview of Luca Mining for our audience to hit off.
Certainly. Well, we are a two-mine producer. We have two operating mines in Mexico. We've got a zinc, gold, copper, silver, and a little bit of lead mine, VMS-style deposit in Guerrero. And then we've got a brand new mine that we're just bringing into production called the Tahuehueto mine, and that's in northwest Durango. We are in the process of ramping up production at both mines, starting to generate cash flow here now, and ramping up to very significant cash flow that we're expecting for 2025. So it's a very opportune time to be introducing this story to your viewers.
Now, you've had a press release come out, and one of the key words there was transitional or transformative. Yep. Can you give us a little bit more insight into that?
Certainly. Well, there were a number of things that decisions that we made over the course of Q3. Q3 was a bit of a down quarter for us from a production standpoint, but that was due to that transition that we referenced. We have ramped up with a new mining contractor, so we transitioned from owner-operator to a contract miner, which is going to enable us for virtually no CapEx to ramp up to be able to consistently fill our mill at Campo Morado. So that's very transformational for us as a company, because it's going to enable us to really ramp our production through Q4 and into 2025. And then, of course, at Tahuehueto, we continue to ramp up, and we're on the verge of commissioning that mine. And so that should be a fully commissioned, operational, at full capacity mine, again, going into 2025. So Q3, we really laid the foundation. Q4, we're going to see massive improvements. And then Q1 and all of 2025, we should start to generate very significant cash flow for this company, particularly on a market cap of $110 million Canadian, which is where we sit here today.
And as CEO, I'm curious to find out how long you've been at LUCA and what your experience is like in Mexico as well.
Yeah, certainly. I've actually only been in the seat for about 4 months. I joined in July. Prior to that, I had been a mining-focused investment banker for 20 years, working in both Toronto and Vancouver, focused largely on small, mid-cap, and large-cap miners. Had done a lot of work for Mexican-focused companies over the years, including Silvercrest and Vizsla, some very close friends of mine in leadership positions at those companies. So I've been in the seat now for 4.5 months, and my experiences have been great. I mean, obviously, every country is unique, every state is unique in Mexico, but you know, we're good corporate citizens. Morale is improving at both sites as we ramp up and start to generate cash flow. We've done some really cool things like reinstitute Sunday afternoon barbecues at the site. So, you know, really starting to foster a team approach. And something that I'm very proud of that we announced earlier this week is we just hit 365 days or a year without a lost time incident at Campo Morado, which is a real accomplishment at any underground mine, particularly an underground mine that is turning around and rebooting its operations.
Now, in the news, Mexico, the Mexican government has just released a proposal to hike royalties. I'm curious to know if that, on top of other legislative reforms, is negative for LUCA Mining.
Well, there's been a lot of concern about Mexico. We've heard from investors, we've heard from institutional investors. Some of them just have decided that they don't want to touch Mexico between, government and political issues, community issues, uncertainty around permitting issues, et cetera, et cetera. We're actually finding Mexico to be probably the bottom is in. With the change of the government, there was some discussion and concern with some of our peers about a potential open pit mining ban. We don't think that that's going to come to pass. Even if it does, it wouldn't impact us because, of course, we're underground. We already have permits in hand, and in fact, we're operating. So, we actually think that Mexico is probably on a bit of a rebound, and we're seeing it in companies being willing to invest there. Obviously, the acquisition of Silvercrest by Coeur, that's a very big bet for Coeur, a U.S.-based company, and obviously that their willingness to double down in Mexico, I think, sends a very positive message to the market. And we certainly believe that that Mexico is open for business. Our company is uniquely positioned to excel in Mexico. We've got a 20-person office in Mexico City. We've got full operating infrastructure between our two mines as well as the head office. And we think that now is actually a great time to be in Mexico. And of course, over time, we would look at more opportunities to be further involved in Mexican mining.
Well, you just touched on your talent there for a little bit. I want to talk about your new hires in exploration for a while. Why is that significant as per your release?
Well, so look, I think that exploration success is the lifeblood of any mining company, particularly for us. Neither of our assets have had any meaningful exploration investment in over a decade. So I think that there's a massive opportunity at both assets to really grow the resource base, find some new near mine material to feed into the mine plan immediately, which will improve cash flows. But the team that we have attracted, I think, is second to none, particularly for a company of our size. Paul Gray has joined us. His most recent experience involved finding literally millions of ounces of gold in the Yukon for Victoria Gold. Jill Carville, who is a legendary explorationist, particularly with a track record of success in Guerrero. She was responsible for the discovery of Ana Paula, which is a mine or a project which is in Helios Star, very close to our Campo Morado project. She was also involved with the discovery of Morelos, which is Torex's project, another neighbor of ours. So she's very experienced in Guerrero. And then Fernando Teliz joins us from Coeur. He's a Mexican national, and he was enthusiastic about the opportunity to move back to Mexico. So we're going to be investing very heavily in exploration. The mandate is to find near mine resources that can be fed immediately into the mine plan, improving cash flow, and then of course to extend our mine life, expand our resources. That will ultimately lead to expansion opportunities. And then we're going to do some, down the road. We're going to do a little bit more, we'd call it a little bit more speculative exploration, where we go out and see what the broader property packages that we have really contain. I'm very, very bullish on our exploration. We're going to invest heavily in it. And you can tell by the caliber of people that we're attracting to execute that exploration plan that there's a lot of enthusiasm around the company, and indeed around the investment community, about the exploration potential that we have here.
And is there one favor over one mine, or is it going to be balanced? What's the strategy there going into the new year?
Well, they're going to be kind of like children. They're going to be we're going to treat them differently, but we're going to invest equally in them. The opportunity is different at each one. Obviously, one is a VMS style deposit, so the exploration strategies will be different. One is more of an epithermal type situation, and again, the exploration situation will be different there. At Tahuehueto, we've actually finished our first 3 drill holes. So far, everything is looking exactly like we would hoped, and maybe even a little bit better. We are drilling from underground. Again, first time that this project is being drilled since 2013. So very, very exciting. A great moment in time for this company from the exploration side.
And just to wind it down here, as we do have to close it off.
Sure.
Any news flow that we can expect in the first quarter of 2025 that you haven't really touched upon yet?
Yeah, so I think in the future we're going to have a couple of new hires on the operations side. So we've got a great finance team. Obviously, I've just joined as CEO. We just this exploration team that I just mentioned, and then we've got one or two more hires at the senior level on the operational side. That will round out our executive team, and we do have an individual who's been identified who will be announced either later this year or early in the new year. So that's a big step for us as a company. Commissioning of Tawa Weto, we are working towards that. That is something that will happen in a matter of weeks here as we continue that ramp up. Drill results, of course, I mentioned that we are drilling and we have 3 full holes that have been now sent off for assay. So lots and lots of catalyst here. It's a catalyst-rich story, and also watch for insider buying. Lots of enthusiasm internally. People at the company really believe that the turnaround has happened here for this company, and lots of people betting on it. As an example, I put up more than $1 million of my own money into this company and continue to buy in the market.
In just 4 months.
In just 4 months.
Actually, it'd be useful if you went over your cap structure quickly as well for the audience.
Certainly. So right now we have almost exactly 200 million shares outstanding. We have a debt facility all owed to Trafigura. We've started paying that down. Right now it sits at $17.4 million. We paid $800,000 down on it over the course of the last month or so. That will be extinguished by July of 2026 or earlier. One of my primary goals is to get to be debt-free. We do have a $5.8 million convertible debenture that's included in that 17.4 to Trafigura. That's convertible at 35 cents. We are having some dialogue about how we might deal with that. And then we've got warrants, about 40 million warrants at 50 cents that are due in April and June. So that'll take us, I expect those to be exercised, given we're trading kind of 56, 57 cents at the moment. I expect those warrants to come in. Use of proceeds for those warrants will absolutely be to pay down debt, clean up that capital structure so that on a go-forward basis, you'll have a company that's debt-free, about 250 million shares outstanding, 2 operating profitable cash flow mines, and 2 very aggressive drill programs.
So that's Dan Barnholden, CEO of Luca Mining. You can find the company on the Venture Exchange under LUCA and, of course, on CEO.CA as well. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in another video.
Wonderful. Thanks for the time.
Thanks, Dan.